something.
Chris, come on. Chris? Where's Chris?
Chris? Alright, so Chris isn't here.
Yeah.
A little panicky. Didn't know that. This is Gamers Guide to the Galaxy, where we talk about, everything gaming. And you can actually talk with us over here at the chat over there.
I was going to look at the camera to see which way it's going to go.
It's always to the left.
Okay.
So, as you can tell, we're actually down a man today. But he will be back next week. We didn't murder him in his sleep yesterday
With an
at
axe.
3:23 a.m. Didn't happen.
Definitely not in the river.
Nope. Anyways,
Okay.
so very recently, for a short period of time, our first topic obviously is the Evolve Alpha.
Yes.
Very recently it happened. Unfortunately, you didn't get to play, I understand.
No, I did not get to play, and there was a reason why I did not get to play. Meg had the...
Let me reason. Well, Meg had
Meg had the, the alpha code or whatever.
Yep.
She was playing it, and I was sitting next to her on my computer playing StarCraft. I finished an entire game of StarCraft during the loading screen.
Yeah, the loading times were a little bit killer. They weren't too bad for me, though. I learned something this weekend, actually, because of the Evolve Alpha. For anybody who has an Xbox One, you might not know this. They actually have different NAT types on the Xbox. There's no NAT, restrictive NAT, and then open NAT. And the fastest way to find something is to have an open NAT. Not a strict NAT, which is what I had. The only way to fix this issue is to go through a whole 16 screens and hit a hidden combination of buttons to open up yourself to an open NAT.
That is just great. That is just,
So after doing that rigmarole of 20 minutes of internet searching and then 30 minutes of doing this testing and then button combinations,
were you just extremely pissed off and
Yeah.
how to find matches faster and evolve? Search.
Actually,
God damn it, I use Bing.
Please, I'm not an idiot. I'm not a Neanderthal. I know to use Google.
Well, I thought maybe you just got so pissed off you used the Xbox One search.
No, actually, it tells you on the screen. It says you are using a strict NAT.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so you have something to base yourself off of.
Okay.
And it's been causing trouble in a lot of games. Like Destiny, it kicks you out for no reason if you have a strict NAT. It makes it so that you can't join games or talk to people. It's really been causing a lot of havoc, and I'm surprised it's so hidden. Not like something that they just switch, or even why it's a feature.
I have no idea why. It's a feature.
It's a feature.
Like that time a certain company took my hard drive, they called it a feature.
But as far as the gameplay on Evolve, I only played a few matches because personally, it's anime. Like I'm psyched for it. I'm psyched for the full game. It's gonna bring something new to the table. I'm excited for it. But they definitely have to do some tweaking. One of my biggest gripes, the monster's mobility needs to be nerfed immediately. As fast as they can do that, it needs to happen. Not to the point where they can't ever get away, but when I'm a DPS, I forgot the dude's name at this point because it's been a few days. I'm the main DPS person. I also have a triple jump and a float, and I can jump across the map faster than anybody, even the hunter. Which is dumb. They should fix that too. The hunter should be the fastest class.
Yeah.
And I'm literally just charging ahead of my group, flying through the air like Tarzan. And the monster looks at me and goes, "Heh," and just flies that way into the abyss.
You just
Yeah. So pretty much, unless they have some type of mini map, which is another way to solve that issue, where you can flank them easier. Because I don't even know where he's going. I just need to know the map. Because those maps all look the same, especially when you're flying through the air at 20 miles an hour and you're trying to, your beam is focused onto that one creature where you're he's in a tree. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if I had a mini map, I could go, all right, swim around the left, hunter, cut across the entire map, we'll chase him into you. So that would be a lot better of a game.
So, here's my question. When you're playing as the humans, say.
Yeah, I only played as humans.
You didn't get to play as a monster, okay.
I didn't want to.
Okay. Did you Is it something where you have to be talking to your team the whole time, or?
Yeah, it really is.
Okay.
I found myself, I was the one I was always engaged with the monster. I was always right behind him. And I would look on my mini-map, or not on the mini-map, but I'd look on the screen, because you can see where the name of people are, and they're miles behind me for no reason.
This dude's over there shooting a tree.
It's not even that. It's hard to figure out where to go. And the game, if the monster is smart, he can actually move around the whole map without being detected. So if the monster doesn't hit any birds or set off any alarms or doesn't do anything that causes a commotion, you don't find him. So people start splitting up, and then your hunter, who's supposed to be the one that captures him in that dome, so that you can actually sit there and fight him when he's weak, is non-existent. It's just, you're sitting there chasing a monster that has a shield that regenerates slowly that you never get through because you're just dodging through trees trying to shoot him.
Okay.
And it really disappointed me that it was like that, but this is an alpha. There is going to be balance changes, and I hope that's one of them, is that the mobility gets nerfed a bit where he can't just run. He has to hide. He has to strategically eat things so that he grows faster. And strategically maneuvers himself instead of just going blindly dashing through the entire map the entire time.
Yeah, I would say that.
And also, you gotta make it, once he hits stage 3, at least almost winnable. It's not. It's not even close to being winnable once he hits stage 3. It's over. You might as well just turn the Xbox off. He gets so big that I have an invincibility shield. That was one of my abilities. An invincibility shield. I turn it on. I'm underneath him. I should not be able to get hit. I shouldn't be able to do anything. I should just sit there and fire at him. He should know not to target me at that moment. What he did is he picked my torso off. I'm still shooting him, by the way, in the face. Doesn't even hurt him. And he just keeps on doing this. It's smashing me into the ground until my shield wears off, and then I die. And there's nothing anybody can do about it.
Really?
Yeah, like people were shooting him the whole time.
They can't do anything. They can't get you out of his hand.
No.
Okay.
And he's just doing this.
That is definitely something that's going to have to be nerfed.
Yeah, and you know what I mean? It's, again, alpha. There's going to be a beta, and then the game's going to be released. I'm sure these things are going to get patched, hopefully. Yeah, unless it stays. I would love a mini-map. That'd be great. And again, even just seeing friendlies, super useful.
Oh, yeah.
Because as I've learned from any team game, I need to know where people are. Even just having local voice chat and a mini-map,
yeah.
The amount of fun I would have in that game would increase 10 over.
Yeah, the whole point of the game was to strategize, to take down the monster. That was the point, and a single person plays the monster.
Yeah,
which is an interesting concept to having like a team of 4 versus a team of 1.
Yeah,
I know the team of 1 is like supposed to be this unstoppable monster, but
actually in early levels I did play one where we caught the monster early, and our hunter was actually competent, and guys, I think it was actually a bot, ironically. But I mean, we murdered him. We murdered him good. Like, he got out of the shield. We all dashed to him. You know what I mean? I went around with things so that way he didn't want to go through me because his shields were down, and I would have just tore up his health. So he worked back. The hunter put the shield back down again, and we just laid into him.
Nice.
So level 1, they are susceptible, but even still, that took, I want to say 15 mags to put them down.
Damn.
Yeah, like, it's hard.
Like,
at any stage of the game, it's hard to put those things down.
Now, what do you think of this whole thing with, like, a team of 4 versus a team of 1? Like, do you think...
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Think it's a good idea?
I mean, especially because imagine, for example, our gamer guys, the Galaxy group. You can still have that one person that's a monster in your party. So, you know what I mean? It'd be like you, me, Chris, Dylan, the whole gang playing this. And then, like, say I'm the monster, like, ha, dickheads. And I just, like... and we're all having a great time.
Yeah.
And then, like, next round, maybe you're the monster.
Oh, that'll actually be good. That'll be good.
You know what I mean? And it would go through everybody, and it'd be fun.
Yeah, man.
That's kind of like Infected on Halo, for example.
Yeah. That was a great game.
Yeah, it's a great gameplay. Everyone had fun. You know what I mean? You're sitting there in a group, and you're like, hey, buddy, hey, buddy. You know what I mean? And
now you're a buddy.
yeah, exactly. Now you got my squad. But, you know, I mean, it's a great fun thing to do. I think once they implement some of these little tweaks and changes, it would be a great game, and it would definitely be one of the bigger hits of right now, especially because a lot of the ones have hit their mark. You know what I mean? And it's fallen way short of what they expected it to be.
Yeah. So do you think releasing it in alpha, real quick, just like a select few?
Yeah.
Select few.
Which was everybody.
Yeah.
If you didn't know, that was everybody.
Yeah. Do you think that was a good idea for them to get a good read on how their game's doing?
I actually think that almost every AAA game should do this.
Every AAA game?
Every AAA game, especially if you're implementing something new. Because what this allows you to do is use your testing group and crowdsource at the same time. You know, it's free public testing. It's free, you know, testing, which one, costs a bunch of money. Two, you get live consumer reports on what they think your game is. Plus you get feedback, plus you get live stress tests and bug reports.
Oh yeah.
So that is invaluable data. Imagine if, you know what I mean, Duke Nukem released a beta or an alpha.
Oh god, that would have been fixed. Oh no, that would end up in developmental hell for another 13 years.
Yeah, but it would never gotten released, no one would have been angry.
Oh yeah, true.
You know what I mean? Imagine if like some of these games that had those game-breaking glitches hit an alpha. It would be so much better. And I'm so glad there are alphas, because especially when things are, you know, introduced so early in their development cycle, and you wait years for this. You know, you just so slowly sit there biding your time. You're like, oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. And then the alpha hits, you're like, awesome, I got a taste. Yep, I'm definitely buying my game.
Okay.
So I really think that it's a good idea to have an alpha. I think this alpha went very well for them. If they listen to the community, give those few little switch, you know, things, I think it's going to be a really good success. I think it's going to be a great game.
Okay. Now, there was another game that was it was actually released.
Yeah. Did you see did you hear about the line?
The line.
Few hundred people. Here in our town, that's a little bit a lot of people.
Yeah, usually when the game gets released, it's like you go there and it's like, hey guys, I brought donuts.
Yeah.
And now it's like, hey guys, I bought the catering van.
But yeah, it's a pretty big event. A
lot in the game.
It is Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, in case you guys were under a rock today.
Yeah.
A lot of people got it. I know a few people who got it. I know a few people have had an issue with preloading, which, in case you haven't noticed, every game nowadays you have to download it too, instead of just putting it in a physical disc to get cloud server connections and stuff like that to enable the game to look as good as it does, and also to be playable
and still be on one disc, pretty much.
Yeah.
Because they did this before with like the 360. You get it and you open up install disc, play disc. So it's really nothing new. They're just doing it over the internet now.
Yeah. But the problem happened when you went to go preload. Now, preloading is just downloading that bit before you get the game and then picking up the game and playing. So it's nothing new, nothing extravagant. But people were getting stuck at 1 and 2% for 13 hours. And the only fix that anybody ever gave them was, oh yeah, delete that and re-download the entire 46 gigs. Now, on anybody's standard internet connection, we'll go with 100 up, you know, or 100 down, 5 up. Pretty generous.
Yeah, that is pretty generous.
Pretty generous internet. You know, 100 megabytes, that's 10 per gig, and it is just not pretty. That's a few hours of just sitting there looking at the loading screen. Granted, if you caught that before you went to go get your copy, you could have had that re-downloading while you're in line.
Yeah.
Which was a saving grace for a lot of people. But some people didn't hear about it until, because they went early, until afterward. So imagine preloading, thinking you're going to play it at midnight, getting home and going, you gotta be kidding me? Is it going to be done when I wake up for school or work in the morning?
And the funny thing is, why did they go early? Because they wanted to get home first. They wanted to be on like level 3 when the guy behind them in line was only level 1.
Yeah.
That's the reason. They wanted to have the custom.
Yeah. So a lot of people were mad about that. Personally, I did not get the game. I'm not planning on getting the game unless I see, through firsthand experience that's a great game. Personally, I have a bias against Call of Duty. We've talked about it on the show.
Yeah, we've mentioned that on the show before. Personally, I did like the series. I was very disappointed with the last few games. Black Ops 2 was
horrible.
Ghost, Ghost. They tried to do too much with the story, and the multiplayer was nothing new for any of them for me. It's the same multiplayer every time. So.
And that's one of the reasons why I never go back. It's because I can load up Modern Warfare, the original.
Yeah.
It's the same exact mechanics and gameplay as in the newest one. And that is something that I think if you don't change as, not even have to invent something new, but put an interesting spin on it. Do something, better. Innovate in some way between games. It's just you trying to get more money for the same game for me.
Or really, it's just.
That's why
it was bad, but I mean, it doesn't even have to be that. It's just there's a year between each game release.
Yeah.
A year. So you play for a year. Oh, new game comes out. So you get that and you play for a year. They each have like 10 DLCs released, which is just new maps.
Yeah.
And in the end, you could always just go back to Counter-Strike, which really has been the same game for years, and
it is a great game.
It's still like the most popular FPS game in the world.
But that's because it's on PC.
Yeah, that's true. I did leave the country once for a couple months, and I was shocked to find everyone was playing Counter-Strike.
Oh, I wasn't. I know about the Counter-Strike community is huge. It is out there in ways that you'll never even know. Like, people download the English version of the game just play on different servers.
Yeah.
It's weird. But there's actually an entire clan on there called FaZe Clan, where they jump and do trick shots all day. Weird.
I mean, Call of Duty is, one thing. It's just the same thing over and over. It's a one-trick pony.
Yeah.
They tried to introduce zombies, which...
And it was very successful.
Very successful, but, I mean, the first zombie was horribly glitchy.
Oh, yeah, World at War?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
I remember walking in and watching my brother play it.
Mm-hmm.
And him and his friends found this glitch where if you put one guy in one spot and another guy in another spot, the zombies will just converge into a single spot, like between them.
Yeah.
And they won't move. And you can just constantly just kill them, racking up.
Yeah.
Like they were on like round 200 or something. It was ridiculous.
And I never liked that game type because every time I paired with somebody, they would always rush the mystery box through that one door and screw me over every single time instead of going through the top like you should.
Oh, yeah.
So that way you can control the flow of zombies. And they would die before they even got the mystery gun, which took 5 times in a row. You know what I mean? And they'd just pour all their money into it, and they'd have a pistol the entire freaking time.
Yeah.
Instead of going, okay, well maybe I should, buy a shotgun and actually do some damage.
Shotgun or
assault rifle,
the
anything besides the basic pistol.
The bolt action rifle, just one shot to the head with that thing for several rounds kills all the zombies. So,
and that's enough money to rack up enough for the mystery gun, and then you just, you go down there and you rack up kills because they come down. They have to funnel into one spot. Anyways, it's a strategic fucking place to be, and no one did it.
No one did it. No one ever went the long way. They want to get to the box right away.
Yeah.
Which is why I hated playing it online.
Yeah. But personally, Call of Duty to me is normally the same game. This one does add some nice elements into it. I've seen a few of the trailers. I am intrigued to see it, but I'm not going to bet my money on it. No. I'm not going to, I'm not going to go risk $60 because it may have some different elements.
Now
I have to see it.
You say it brings in some new things, but I feel like another game already brought in some of these things. A game called Titanfall.
Yeah.
It
did. I understand that. But if I punish Call of Duty for trying something and criticize them for not trying things, kind of a hypocrite. Try not to be that. So, if it does truly do things differently, does add some cool gameplay mechanics, fixes the freaking storytelling, and adds something actually worthwhile to multiplayer, I might pick it up.
I mean, It is made by a different company this time. It's Hammer Studios, I think.
I have no idea. I hadn't paid attention to that in a long time. Because I just figure Activision's just, riding their golden pony to the bank. So,
Okay.
yeah, you probably should just type in Call of Duty.
Yeah, that was a bad idea. Apparently there's a film studio also called that.
I want to know what they produce. Anyways, so, I mean, personally, I've lost faith in the Call of Duty name for the longest of times because it's just monotony at this point.
Now, let me ask you this. Did you like Titanfall?
I did. I generally enjoyed Titanfall because for the first few weeks because you could suck at that game and have fun. It didn't matter.
Yeah, that was true. It's High Moon Studios, by the way. High Moon Studios. And Sledgehammer Games. Sorry.
So that's how you got it.
Yeah. Yeah, Hammer Studios. Don't Google Hammer Studios.
It's Hammer Time.
Okay.
Anyways, so...
So-
we crack ourselves up.
Yeah. So, I mean, when I played Titanfall, I was a little bit disappointed in Titanfall because it was, it was like, yeah, Titanfall, Titan's coming, yeah, Titanfall's coming. You're like sitting there and you're like, yeah. Okay, 4 minutes. Okay, here comes the Titan, yay, and yeah.
Well, I feel like Titanfall was generic fighting game to me. You know what I mean? It had no story, it had no presence in the gaming community. All you did was play multiplayer, and that's perfect for the average Call of Duty player is when playing multiplayer.
I would not have minded so much if that's what they made it out to be.
Mm-hmm.
If they didn't put that, bullshit campaign in there.
Yeah.
If they didn't make it require Xbox Live. You're releasing a game that is 100% multiplayer.
Yeah.
On your system. It is only for your system. And I feel like they lost sales because it required Xbox Live.
Yeah.
I mean, you're forcing people to buy. It didn't even come with like a good Xbox Live. It came with like 2 free days.
Yeah.
If they had given people like a month or 2 months of free Xbox Live,
Yeah.
people would have, been all over Titanfall. And when that 2 months was up, if they were still into Titanfall, they would have renewed. That should have been their plan.
Yeah.
Make a game so good, give them a free month of Live, make them renew it.
See, my biggest gripe with that thing was the balancing of weapons was
God.
horrible. I hit somebody with a sniper, dead in the eye. I mean, I saw the pupil of this dude's eye, shot him. He did not die. That is messed up. If I shoot you with a sniper and I have to sit there and, not get shot for a long period of time so because it messes up my aim and shoot you in the head, you die. I don't care what gun it is, you freaking die. You know what I mean? If I can just sit there with a smart pistol and go and annihilate an entire team,
Yeah.
but I can't hit somebody in the head with a sniper, there's something messed up. And I think the reason why they did that was because the sniping spots in that game were too good. They never fixed it.
Oh.
Because you could get it to such a ridiculously high height and just nail every single person. And if they, actually gave you a good sniper, snipers would devastate.
Oh, they would. They would definitely devastate.
Like, there are people running to their Titans just getting murdered in the streets.
There are people in the Titans getting murdered in the streets. I mean, that was another thing. Like, whenever I got in Titan, I never felt like this was a good thing. It's like, hey, I'm a large target. I'm slower now. The agility's gone.
Oh, and now I'm getting rodeoed.
Yeah, and now there's some guy banging. I can't. Someone shoot this guy off, please. It's like.
Yeah.
And then there was like the whole bots, like the.
Yeah. That's pretty much cushion for people who suck.
Yeah, I noticed it was like, hey, I got 20 kills, and it's like, oh, I only got 1 player kill and 19 bot kills.
Yeah. So that I think is, they pull elements from that as far as the feel and the look of it. I hope they don't copy the gameplay. I saw a lot of the trailer and it looked like, you could do some things like throw doors and stuff, but
Throw doors.
on a game system or a game franchise that typically prided itself on being realistic.
Yeah.
And that was a big thing of being realistic, giving you a cybernetic enhancement to make you Jesus himself, kind of breaks that universe's laws. And while I'm okay with that, because I'm a sci-fi person, I like sci-fi shooters for the most part. Halo, Borderlands, all these other things. It makes me mad that you broke your morals and you broke what you did just to get slightly more people possibly interested in your game, and to give fanboys, their pretty much biggest fan fiction.
Yeah, pretty much. Now, we got a little bit more time. We got a few minutes left in part 1 here.
Yeah.
I want to bring it back to an old PlayStation 3 game that didn't do so well, but the concept I thought was great. MAG. Massive action game. Really stupid title. The whole point of the game was that you would just have these massive online battles. It would be...
Oh, SOCOM.
Yeah, it would be huge. I didn't research this before, I'm sorry. I just thought about it. What?
Wait, how many volts were in the mag? Was it 3?
Yes.
Okay.
Anyways, now, the problem with MAG was at the time the servers were too laggy to handle the massive amount of people they wanted on each game. Mm-hmm. It's like 128 on each game, so 64 versus 64.
Yep.
Which, in theory, that sounds like a pretty great game to me. This massive online battle. Do you think, with newer technology, better servers, do you think they could try, maybe not 64 versus 64, but maybe 32 versus 32?
No.
No?
The reason why is the infrastructure of the normal home network is not good enough.
Okay.
Server-wise, yes. But the problem with that would be the latency across the network. And because of reasons that we're not going to get into on this show, because it is a topic all its own on a different technological plane other than gaming, the industry has held back network speeds in America to something that's almost on a third world scale, which is horrible to say because, you feel like a jerk saying it because you live in America and you're complaining about stuff. But the internet speeds here are so terrible that it would never be able to support that many connections to a server and be able to load balance it completely, because you'd have to have an entire fiber network to do so. And then have a fiber backbone, and then have fiber connections outside, which would not translate well into the copper lines once it does. That latency will be built in, and what you do as turn left takes a full second. In a 64 versus 64 match, you cannot have a full second lag. That's just unexcusable death.
That is, yeah.
So I don't think that's possible just yet. Hopefully, if they redo all the lines, replace copper completely with fiber, then they could do it. I hope that happens in America anyways, because we need to get off copper. Copper is very inefficient. It's very costly. You know what I mean? Even to put in a new copper line costs more than a fiber line would.
Yeah.
Because copper right now is, I think...
expensive as hell, let's just say that.
It's a few dollars per spool, for small spools.
Yeah.
A few $100,000 for their actual spools that they use. While fiber, it's just glass. It's pretty inexpensive. You can get it for pennies on a dollar. You know what I mean? And if you run it, your customers will pay you 10 times as much for the service.
Yeah. So, just one more quick thing. First, it was 128 players per team, actually, so that's even bigger than I thought.
So 256.
Yeah, 256 players on one map. What do you think would be the biggest? Because I think Halo did, 16 versus 16?
Yep, and that's the biggest I think we're going to go for now.
Okay.
Until fiber networks in place on everywhere, that's probably the biggest that any place is going to go, because they know that limitation's in place. As soon as that gets finished or is mostly there, like most places have fiber, kind of like most places now have high-speed internet, I think you'll see the 32 and 64 come about.
Okay. Well, I think that's it for part 1. So we'll be right back. We'll talk about the Borderlands series.